Cancer Clinical Trials. Part 2. Clinical Trial Phases. Once a potential new cancer treatment shows promise in a laboratory setting, it needs to be tested in human volunteers. Now, there are many ways to design clinical trials. We're going to focus on some of the more common types you're likely to encounter. Like other clinical trials, cancer clinical trials are done in phases, with each phase helping researchers answer different questions. In Phase 1 trials, researchers are focused on the safety of the treatment. They want to know what type of side effects can be expected, as well as the highest dose that can be safely given. In non-cancer drug trials, Phase 1 trials are almost always conducted with healthy volunteers. Phase 1 cancer clinical trials usually involve a small number of people with cancer. This also allows the researchers to see if, and at what dose, there is some indication that the treatment will work for that particular cancer. A few people are given a very low dose and monitored. If the side effects are manageable, another small group gets a higher dose, and so on. As you might imagine, Phase 1 trials have the greatest potential risk. These trials take place in research centers, where the volunteers can be closely monitored. If the treatment appears safe, it then progresses to Phase 2. The purpose of this phase is to determine whether the treatment shows promise against a specific type of cancer. Researchers also want to gather more information on safety by expanding the number of patients tested. There are many ways to design a Phase 2 trial. In some Phase 2 trials, all participants receive the same dose of the new treatment. In others, patients may be randomly assigned to receive different doses. And in still other Phase 2 trials, the participants are randomized to receive either the study treatment or the standard treatment for their cancer. That way, the researchers can compare the results seen in each group. It's important to know that placebos are not typically used in cancer clinical trials. A placebo is only used when there is no standard treatment to compare to the new treatment. Phase 2 trials usually involve many more patients than a Phase 1 trial. They are generally conducted in research centers, but depending on the cancer type and the emerging safety data, these trials may be offered in other locations as well. If the results of the study treatment look promising, the treatment then progresses to Phase 3. In Phase 3, researchers are looking at a number of things. They want to compare the safety and effectiveness of the study treatment to the standard treatment, learn about any rare side effects that have not yet been seen, and understand whether the findings of the earlier studies can be generalized to the overall patient population with that particular cancer. To do this, in Phase 3, the treatment is given to hundreds or even thousands of participants. Generally, they are randomly assigned to different groups called arms. Because of the large number of participants, Phase 3 studies may be found at cancer centers, community hospitals, and by doctors in private practice. These studies may also include patients from other countries. Depending on the results of a Phase 3 trial, the new treatment may be approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA. But trials don't end once a new treatment is approved. Phase 4 trials are often longer studies that include many more participants. Phase 4 trials are designed to learn more about the risks and benefits of the new treatment over the long term, and how to best use the treatment. Because the treatment has already been studied in detail and approved, these are generally the trials with the lowest risk. If you're interested in possibly taking part in a cancer clinical trial, be sure to watch the other videos in this series and discuss your options with your doctor. CancerCare provides free resource navigation, individual counseling and support groups over the phone, virtually and in person, with oncology social workers and resource navigators who specialize in helping people affected by cancer. To talk with one of our social workers,